little better than it was. But that one pump is going right to the floor. I can pump it up. I get a little bit of more pressure in it, but it's still, you can hear it there. It's going to the floor. So I still either have to change my pedal or something there. I can feel it's got air in it. Now that I've bled that far side, I'm hoping this near side on the rear will make this better. I'll get onto that. Now when I first made this brake, I used a 12mm socket here so I could weld the nut onto it. I didn't have my lathe at the time close enough to get to it, and I just got a little rod here, and I don't know if you can see there, but it bent quite a bit. It was like that. So I got another rod, but it's about the same size. So what I decided I'd do, I just faced this off with my new little lathe and drilled it for, I don't know what that is, 3/8 drill bit. I'm going to turn this down to a shoulder. This was a 5/8 rod. I was making adapters with it, but it's too small. So I'm going to turn this down to a size that'll fit in here. And then I can put a shoulder on it. This will go into about here. And then I'll turn the rest of this rod down to a bigger size here. Quite a bit bigger than this. And then I can put a little better round point on it. So that's a first test project for the little lathe. We'll just fire it up here and show you how it runs. I'm going to turn this in about 1mm. That's cutting pretty good. It's got one of the little cheap carbide tools that came with it. I don't know how far I need. That should be plenty good. I'll just keep going here until I reach my depth. Let's take another 1mm. That might be 1/10 of a millimeter. This is a medium feed rate. I don't like that too much. Let me settle down to that's my low feed. Let's see what a spring cut does here just for the fun of it. Yeah, it's making a much nicer pass across there. I'll dig out my micrometer and start measuring some stuff as soon as this cut's over. That's good enough. Well, it don't look all that good, but it feels pretty good. Probably run it higher. higher speed. Anyway, I'll press on here until I get this cut out. I got me a nice fancy stainless steel caliper here. I lost my old one somewhere. Anyway, I set this to 0. Supposed to be 0. That's 1/1000th difference there. And I'm going to just turn this in approximately a half of, I guess it's a millimeter. And we're going to see how much it actually is cutting. Quite a bit of cut there. That's enough for my test. Now, 117 thousandths. So one of these, a half a division is 17 thousandths. $30 thousandths. I don't know what that would be. Let me see, change this to millimeters. .45. So a whole division is a millimeter. I turned it, one division is about 15 thousandths difference. 5 thousandths. So one whole division is a millimeter. So I think that's what that's saying. One division is 0.05 millimeter. Tenths, hundredths, 500ths. All right. Good enough. So, this is the drill bit I drilled with. We'll just set our 0 here. Got about 1.5 millimeters to go, it says. So let's try 0.5 millimeter. Taking it to my old spot where I quit there. 0.72 now. Try another half. I don't really have that on center either. Seven two. This should have taken. This should be 20 something. Eight hundredths. I don't know. I can't go back and forth 20 millimeters. I'm just going to try this. Looks like that went on. The out here, you know, that's part of the old socket, so I need to cut it down in here about this deep. We'll just go a little deeper here and see what we got. Spring cut is not bad. Right, so we got to it. Let's see how we're doing here. Get my lathe out of the way. Yes, that's really not going in now, which is good. And let's get back to here for a 0. Check that bit. 0.06, 0.08. I'm just going to take off a little bit here. I'm going to say 2 of these marks. See what happens. That'll be good enough. This didn't have to be accurate at all. It's more of a, well, you know, that feels pretty good. I don't know whether my measuring here in 0.07, 0.01. I made it a little too small, actually. 0.05 of a millimeter. But this is going to hold it pretty straight in here. You see it's moving around a little. But I don't particularly care about that. I probably ought to weld it and then turn it. I'm not going to. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can cut me a piece about this long and go from there. That should be plenty. I'm going to cut it down to, I'm going to leave a little shoulder here. I think where to do my piece, there it is. Yeah, we'll say that's the shoulder. So I cut a rod this thick. That should be enough. So I'm just going to go ahead and whittle this down. Well, I'm running this at 1,000 RPM. I dialed in half a millimeter cut. It was coming off with some nice short blue chips. Don't stick your hand in the lathe, boys. You see when it hits it here, so it's not really doing much. I'm going to go back here and take another half. It's still plenty big for a rod. Kind of a long chip. Again, that's probably half of the tent, I'm not sure. That's a whole tenth of a millimeter, or 5/100. So chips coming off and breaking. I could probably take more load at that speed. Coming off kind of cold, it's not turning blue when it hits the ground. You see down in there it's still gray. But it's making a really nice cut. Yeah, it made a real nice cut. Got a little warm, but not bad. So that's a way plenty big of an end. Now if I take this from where it was welded onto the thing before, I'm right at the end of the rod, so I'm going to give myself another 3/8 of an inch or so. I'm going to try it like about 800 here for a bigger cut. Pulling chip off nice there. I think that this is where my shoulder is. I got plenty there. Now I'm going to just taper this down right here on the very end to fit into the brake. In fact, I ought to go measure that brake and see how big it is. It's a good time to start playing with inches. I set this to 0. I'm going to go to 5/10 of a millimeter, I suppose. Pulling that off pretty nice. Let's see, how much is it now? That's 0. I should have set it different. 0.448. Another half here. .429 says 4.3, about 1/1000th and a half, I think. we'll just set that at 0. Do another half for the fun of it. Keep thinking you can see where I'm seeing, and I'm about 6 inches lower. Alright, that was 0. I took off half of a marking, 2 thousandths, tenths, hundredths, 2 hundredths. Well, if we're right, this next one should be 4. Be nice if one of those marks is 2 thousandths. Hopefully this says 4 now. 0.35. So that's a 35 thousandths. Two marks is 35. So it's a little less than 2 thousandths per. One of these lines down here is about 0.5 thousandths. So that gives me pretty good rough figuring. You see here on the thing, 210 is 1.5 thousandths. Just by math, so we'll see what happens. I'm pretty good here, but I want to take this down to about the size of this. I got quite a ways to go. Make a few more passes. 2 thousandths at a time. That looks like about a 2 thousandths cut. Go a lot faster than this. This one is at 1200. Running out along good too. What I didn't stop to think of is how far this bar is going to go inside the master cylinder. I've got another one laying here. Let's see what it says. Set me a 0. Dark back there. 43.9, 44. So I need to cut this down. 44, quite a bit. Let's see, I'll go measure how deep it is. Well, that was a 1.5 inches deep. So we'll start it from here. Take what looks to me a good cut. Yeah, that's pretty good. I don't know how much I moved it. Breaking the tip. Coming off a nice color. Probably a little over that half. Tip's breaking good here. When I say 43, and this is now at 42. Take a little more for fun of it. So about 1,300. Yep. Now that is 400. I tried parting this here with that little parting tool that they sent me. It just snapped the carbide right off. I really wasn't even feeding it in there very much. As Vice Grip Garage says, too many onions, I suppose. Yeah, it just broke it. Huh. Tells you the value of these things. Not much. Broke the whole end off of the... Well, I have to dig through my pile here and I'll find something that'll part it off. What's this? Nope. I got some bits up here somewhere that'll do it. I shouldn't have gave away all my stuff with the other lathe. Well, I got this done. It's kind of hard to see in there. Goes into the brake good. My Heim joint here is good. Can't really see it. I haven't welded it together, but it turned out that up in this area here, well, can't really tell, but right here at the end of my finger, there it is. I've got a bracket there, and I made that to brace it, so I just put a 1/2 inch lathe bit in there to brace it against the steering column. And now it's going down halfway. It feels solid, and all the pressure I can put on it is not flexing anything, so that's really good brakes. So I'll just have to weld my little pin up, do a little final adjusting, and weld up this little brace up in here that I made, wherever it's at. But that's pretty much a done deal for this. It's got super good brake, and I'm 3 inches at least off the floor. So the brake problem is solved. And back here in the back, I painted this wheel up this morning. You can see some rust spots on it there. I just scraped it with a screwdriver, get rid of some of the dirt. So I'm going to squirt a little more paint on that. And this one here was alright. I bled it. There's quite a bit of air in it. You can see what I got out of it there, about 3/4 of a cylinder. And we'll call this done on the brakes. A little bit more final details, and this thing will be ready to do a burnout here in the next day or so.